You're about to listen to the Timey-Wimey Tea Time Podcast, a GeekyAntics.net and AllGames.com production. Find out what everyone's talking about. The Doctor, of course. Doctor Who? Exactly, that Doctor. Join us live at www.twitch.tv/GeekyAntics. That's GeekyAntics. Hang out with us, ask questions, laugh, and have at it. We can't wait to hear what's on your minds and hearts.
Tiny, whiny tea time. Gusta.
Greetings and welcome to another exciting, wonderful, delicious perhaps installment of Time Wimey Tea Time, where friends gather to talk about all things Doctor Who, sci-fi, fantasy, zombies, creativity, and just about everything geek. I mean, we sprinkle in some anime, some video games, and whatever other banter and merriment we could get into. Now, this is actually episode 19. Earlier on the pre-show, I don't know, I guess I got stuck in some kind of timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly wormhole type thing, and I thought it was episode 20. I was jumping ahead of myself. It's episode 19. We don't usually say the episode number, but it's kind of significant because we're hitting some milestones, and we're constantly fine-tuning and experimenting with different formats. And, you know, this is different. This is a different kind of show for us because usually on GeekyAntics Network, we tend to have late night shows and a little more risque stuff. This is a family friendly format. You know, it's earlier in the day. Most of us are still waking up and getting caffeinated, and it makes for a different kind of discussion. Or, you know, I think it's fun. But we'll be talking classic Doctor Who again. You know, keeping up with our Doctor Who flashback series, our segment, if you will. And we'll be bantering, of course, about random geeky things. But we'll keep the bantering and the broadcast kind of things to a minimum, because we know that there's plenty of that in the podcasting space. But before we get into all of that, introductions, because those are important. I'm Yomar Lopez, known throughout the interwebs and sometimes the Whoverse as YogiZilla. Friends IRL, in real life, call me Yogi. And I hope you guys will get comfortable and call me Yogi. I hope we could become friends. As my previous co-host, Stan, has been known to say, I'm a gamer, a dreamer, an author of silliness, a disgruntled techie, a wild-eyed entrepreneur, and a fistful of happy emojicons and sunshine. I ran into the battle upon a glittering My Little Pony, and out of my mouth come laughing swords of peppermint and ginger. I really love that bit, so I'm going to keep that. But above all, again, I hope that we can become friends as we embark upon a journey through time and space, the human condition, and merriment, and, of course, bantering. I hope you're noticing a theme here. But anyway, that's enough about me. Let's talk about our new co-host, our new friend for a tea time. Fatal Blades. But no. Let's make it more personal. Okay? We're a very personal, friendly, approachable show. Oolong. Welcome to tea time. I don't know what that was. I tried to make it epic. What's going on, brother?
Oh, not much. It was good. It was good. It was good. Just in a universe bound by honor and glory, there is an Oolong, and he hopes to be friends with you all.
I like it. 2 thumbs up. And I want to say, wow, holy Hannah, we just got a bunch of people just stumble upon here. I guess it's a big day for gaming talk shows. Maybe we need to do more early shows because apparently there's not many people streaming around this hour. And I noticed that on Twitch, and we are streaming on Twitch, amongst other places, like allgames.com. What up, All Games? But I noticed that more and more people are streaming late night. And I used to be like my little niche. Now I'm like, man, I might have to start becoming like a day person. And and fight my vampire ways. Because, like, during the day, we get such a nice crowd. And you get also the overseas folks that can't stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning their time, you know? But shout out to Starchild, who's been very vocal in the chat. We appreciate that, because most people like to lurk. They get a little shy. And I get it. You want to kind of feel things out before you even bother saying hello. We appreciate that. But Starchild says here, and that's Starchild89W, they say, I'm a pretty big fan in Whovian, but there is so much I still don't know about the show, such as the older stuff. But I would love to hear what you guys had prepared for today's episode/stream. So yeah, there you go. Awesome.
And what an episode it shall be, my friend.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. We're keeping the format pretty open so we could get more into the chat, the interaction there, because we are live. Obviously, that's a big part of it. I'll also have wiggle room to elaborate more and, obviously derail a little bit.
It happens.
It does happen. What you been up to, man?
And just a lot of gaming, a lot of kind of relaxing, taking a little time off, and sinking into my fandoms and nerdy little habits.
It's very important to have the nerdy habits. They keep us going.
They do. They drive me. I can't help it. Looking at my comic books and then rewatching some of my favorites, some Supernatural, some Doctor Who, Sherlock. I know people are gonna hate. It's cool.
Well, I mean, that's part of. I think that's part of what comes in with the geek territory, is that a lot of the stuff that we're passionate about as geeks is polarizing, and that's what makes it fun, because not everyone likes it, and that's where the conversation comes into play, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the freedom of idea exchange is just amazing.
Now, you mentioned a plethora, I'm going to use that word, of shows. And you're like me, like, I think it seems like you don't have enough time to keep up with it, and you're behind, and you kind of marathon watch it when you can, catch up a little bit. Now, Supernatural and Arrow, are they back on? They both ended in a bit of a cliffhanger, last I checked.
They did. Supernatural actually has come back. I lucked out. I got to catch up with that, and oh my God, I'm just gonna say this, and this is gonna make Yogi look it up right after this. We got the Felicia Day episode this season.
Oh God, stop it! No,
it was a beautiful thing. For those who haven't watched it, I'm not gonna spoil it. Trust me. Hate the spoiler alerts, but make sure you check it out. Oh, so gorgeous.
So for those of you that don't know, when you talk about Felicia Day and Will Wheaton, like, I just nerdgasm, and I know that's terrible. I know that's not appropriate. I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible, but there's no other way to describe it. I get a little too excited and like kind of explode inside, like, I don't know. And then I had to reassemble myself like Humpty Dumpty. But GeekyAntics network, we've kind of modeled it a little bit after Geek and Sundry. We've had this vision for a long time, but I like to think of us, or I would love that eventually people will think of us as a Geek and Sundry with more grassroots kind of feel, Like, we don't have the production value that they do. We don't have the resources they do. So, but we're also but on the flip side, we're more approachable and engaging because we can afford to be, So I would like to think that. And another thing too, Felicia Day, I happen to find her very easy on the eyes. Just putting that out there. I know I've had this really unhealthy attraction to redheads. It's really bad. Like Game of Thrones, they killed off that one wildling redhead. I'm like, darn you, Jon Snow! How dare you! I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Spoilers if you're not caught up.
Like, yeah. See.
Sorry. Yeah, but I mean, is that really a spoiler? Game of Thrones is like 100 different subplots, side stories going on, and all of them end up with people dying. Game of Thrones, that's the theme. Don't get attached to anyone. That's really it. That's their whole thing.
It is. It's oh, this one's getting really popular, and he's gone.
Starchild says that they don't watch Game of Thrones. I'm not gonna be the fanboy to be like, you gotta watch it. I think, like, if you feel the void in the fantasy space and you want good fantasy television, then yes, watch Game of Thrones. But if you don't feel that void, then you can totally skip it. It is a little risque too. There's a lot of, there's a lot of sexual content in there and violence, and not everyone's big on that, and I appreciate that too. T-Dog Jr. and Crazy One. Crazy One is awesome, by the way. Crazy One is really cool. Crazy One, from the first time they caught one of our shows, he caught one of our shows, followed us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, subscribe to our podcast feeds, I believe, and then registered on GeekyAntics.net and friended a bunch of us. I'm like, wow. Yeah, Star Shadow makes a good point. So, Game of Thrones very much is borderline porn. Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of, sadly, that is a big part of it. And there's a lot of, like, things there that, if, especially if you have a strong moral compass, it's really hard to allow to just let slide. But, yeah, it's tough. And I totally get that. Like, we have a lot of diehard Christians that listen to us, and I'm a Christian too, but I'm one of those more modern, I guess, contemporary Christians. Like, well, I believe in morality and all this stuff, and I believe treating people right and being compassionate and all that stuff. But I watch certain things that probably would make some folks cringe. Like, you really shouldn't be watching that or condoning that at all. But anyway, something I can wholeheartedly recommend that I was just talking to Oolong about earlier is Agent Carter. I just started this. Chip Sella from the B Team podcast. Shout out to you, buddy. He's been a big fan of this, and he has the Agents of Shield cast. Make sure you check him out on iTunes, Stitcher. Good guys. Chip Sella also has the B Team podcast. I did mention that, but I'm gonna mention it again to reinforce it. But Agent Carter, I'm loving this. It was the pilot was a little bit of a slow burn, but I just love, do you ever feel, dude, like you were born in the wrong period, like the wrong time? You ever get that feeling? Like, I love that we have all the technology now, right? Mm-hmm. But I almost feel like if I was born into like one of those older periods where people actually went out and talked to each other and connected, I think I might be. I don't know. What do you think?
I believe at times that I was born into the wrong time period, but it's usually more selfish reasons for me. I'm like, I wish I was born in the year 3000. That way I could see the awesome video games they have then.
Oh, man.
But for all I know, Skynet takes over and the Terminators have us by then. So it could be a bad idea.
I'm scared for the future. As much as I love tech, I'm scared for the future. I think it's, I love social media, but it's encouraging antisocial behavior, So I don't know, but I don't know. I look back at these period pieces, 1950s, the Roaring '20s or the Swinging '20s. I forget which one they used for that period. I know the Great Depression was not fun, but just like the way people talk, their mannerisms, the attire. I'm like, man, people were really. Folks back then were mighty dapper, It's like, I don't know, I can get down with that. So I'm watching Agent Carter. It takes place in 50s. If I'm not mistaken. It's post-World War II, so that would make sense, right?
All right.
And so I guess it's the late 40s and then the 50s kind of time, and I just love the way the women they're classy, sexy, Like the way they have their hair, it's just there's something magical about it. I don't know, I'm weird.
No, it's the Mrs. Cunningham effect. Like back in the day, if you were old like I am, and you'd watch Happy Days, and you're like, oh, it's Miss Cunningham, like the mom next door. She's got that very classic style about her. It was a very classic beauty at the time.
Exactly, like the classy pinup girls, I could say Betty Page, but that's a little more borderline risque, right? But yeah. Just that hairstyle and that look where it's like, I'm sexy, but I'm not overselling it, and I'm leaving lots to the imagination. Just the way women carry themselves, because they had so much to deal with, they had so much to overcome. And Agent Carter, that's a big part of it. Is like she kicks butt, she's smart, but they don't respect her as an agent, even though she has a history of saving the world and all this stuff. It's crazy. And they're like constantly sending her off to take lunch orders or get coffee for folks. And even though she's an agent for the SSR, which is like their version of SHIELD or the CIA, I guess, or I guess you could say it's precursor to SHIELD. I'm not sure in this new Marvel Cinematic Universe if that's the proper backstory. So I could be wrong there. Comic book experts could let me know You can always call in and let us know, 206-415-4987. That's our voicemail line. We'll share that again later. And of course, we got the Twitter, at Yogizilla, and Fatal is at Fatal Blades, Fatal_Blades, and Fatal is spelled F8TL, right?
Yes, and no underscore in the Twitter.
Oh, I thought there was an underscore in the Twitter.
Nope.
Where do you have the underscore?
That's in my Twitch. My Twitch.
Oh, your Twitch has the Really? I've had it backward the whole time?
Man. Yeah, one job, folks. One job.
One job.
Day.
Underscore is welcome. So, Starchild says that those were good times. They feel the same way. People aren't as personable or respectful now. That's true. There were values back then. People actually focused on developing themselves. Now there's a lack of self-accountability and personal development overall. And there's also a sense of entitlement. You know, we've lost that hunger as an American culture. But the Starchild says, but I do sure love hot showers. That's true. The things we take for granted. But Agent Carter, wholeheartedly support it. If you like period pieces and you like the new Marvel Cinematic Universe, you want a little bit of a backdrop into Captain America, Avengers, Shield, all that stuff. It touches upon all those things, and it does it in a very nice way without pandering so much. It's establishing its own thing. Now I wonder how long can you keep doing this? Like I thought this maybe would be miniseries kind of material. But I can see this be a 2 or 3 season thing easily.
Possibly. I think we're going to see it turn into kind of a mini series, though. Unfortunately,
This is a shame because I love the production value, man, and I love period pieces. Like, man, see, you dirty coppers.
Oh man,
you dirty rat, you dirty rat. But it's just the way that people talk. It's just so funny. Like I just try to picture like. It's the mystique of it. It's just right. I don't know. I'm such a fan.
Can't you see the writing on the wall? The talkies are taking over.
Oh, Starchild says I will have to check it out. My boyfriend started watching it. I've been catching up on Grimm still. I'm behind on Grimm. I know the new season started. I think I'm just gonna marathon watch that. And what's who's the wolf guy there? He played a character on Prison Break. He played the guy that was kind of like crazy in the head, but he was actually a nice guy, just misunderstood.
I can't remember his name.
He's the Vesson.
Yeah, he is the Vesson.
And I love his character so much. He's just so cool. And him and his wife is so cute together.
That's it, Monroe.
Monroe, yes.
Star Child.
Oh, apparently we're not that delayed right now. Awesome. We must have like a 10-15 second delay. The other day, someone said I was streaming and I only had a 10-second delay. I was like, yes! My setup doesn't completely stink. That's awesome. Oh, we got season 2. Oh, okay. I will not say anything else. But anyway, guys.
Spoilers.
No spoilers. We might have to talk about that show in the not-so-distant future. But now for the lovely things we will discuss during tea time today. After like 20 minutes in. So, here we go. In the first half of the show, we're going to do our Before We Go Deeper segment, where we do a little bit of plugs and some self-promotion, shall we say. Then we'll do Who Knew, our Whovian news segment, which is not always Doctor Who stuff. It's mostly geeky stuff, you know, whatever tickles our fancy. We try to find those tangents that Whovians, the tangent interest that Whovians, our fellow Whovians, might appreciate. Then we'll do our Who's Who, where we share why Doctor Who is great. So if you're still on the fence about it and you never checked out Doctor Who yet, don't worry. We're not going to crucify you or anything. But we'll try to sell you on it either way. Hopefully we'll make a good case for it. Finally, we're going to do our Doctor Who flashback segment, where we'll talk about Mind Robber. And I quite enjoyed this story, I'm going to say right off the bat. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to find a bad classic Doctor Who, as far as I'm concerned. BFT9000 is joining us. Awesome. We're gonna have a fun party today. Nice little tea time. In the second half of the show, we'll do our community interconnect, where we'll read some comments, do some chat feedback, maybe plug some sponsors. Actually, there won't be any sponsors today. We're just gonna keep it all about you guys. So make sure if you have any questions, save it for then, and then we'll get some more discussion going. Then we'll have some banter and merriment. We're gonna talk about some video game stuff, maybe some tech news, stuff that's been going on in the geekosphere, let's say. Finally,
I actually have an anime piece I want to make sure to mention during that, but no spoilers, Doctor. No spoilers.
Anime. You know, I have to make a concerted effort to stay away from anime. It's such a For me, it's such a slippery slope. I watch one anime, next thing you know, I start watching another, and oh gosh, the time sink is real. That is really my preferred. When it comes to when I'm in consumption mode, not creation mode, that is my preferred medium right now. I have to say, outside of sci-fi, but there's not much great sci-fi out there, and it's definitely not really that like any like space operas or anything like that. It's sad, but I guess it's a good thing. I have my free time back. But anyway, in the second half, we'll finally close off the show with our outro and the shoutouts, and that's it. So before we go deeper, I want to reiterate that we are live, usually, on allgames.com and twitch.tv/GeekyAntics every Saturday at noon Eastern, 5 p.m. in London, and 4 p.m. I believe in Madrid. If you missed the live show, you can tune in on YouTube on Saturday evenings, and that's youtube.com/GeekyAntics. Or you can search Twitter for hashtag TWTT. We try to make an effort whenever we mention anything Doctor Who or Whovian tangent, whatever might appeal to you folks. We try to put the hashtag TWTT there to keep the conversation going. And a word of warning, I just want to say this is a catch-all disclaimer. Our other shows on Geeky Antics are quite not as accessible to a wider audience. And we don't try to be controversial for the sake of being controversial, but we also believe in creative freedom, and sometimes when we get guests, they go a little crazy and push the envelope, shall we say. So yes, the other shows on the Geeky Antics network and also on All Games may not be, dare I say, your cup of tea. That's my disclaimer. Thank you. That pun won't get old anytime soon, I don't think. But some exciting stuff that we're working on. There's a lot of stuff we're working on. I'm debating doing a Patreon. I was originally thinking about doing it for the Geeky Antics network. I might still do it that way, but I might do it per show. So I'm still debating with that. I think what I might do is do a Geeky Antics Patreon and then have different incentives that relate to different shows. So that might be a fun thing to do. That way, and what we'll do is to make it easy for the people that contribute to us consistently, our core team, people that are fully invested, because we syndicate a lot of shows and we have a lot of different shows on the network, but there are people that are core team and there are people that just kind of like, oh, I'll just put my show on your network and then it disappear. That's fair too. But for our core team, we'll use that to like give our contributors some incentives and then reinvest in our community, of course, do more giveaways, improve our production quality, do more community events, maybe local meetups. So that's kind of what I'm leaning toward. And I have some really fun ideas. Some of the ideas that might, and we'll talk about them more later, but it might involve crappy drawings by moi, and maybe some bad singing. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. But right now we are working with Doctor Who and Star Wars vendors and also game developers to bring you guys here in the TWTT community some relevant swag and incentives. So then it won't always be prizes per se, but there'll be some swag or some kind of related incentive that will appeal to you folks. So if you have anyone that you think might be interested in sponsoring a group giveaway and several mini giveaways, what we'll be doing for the next close to 2 months now, let us know. You could tweet me at YogiZilla or at GeekyAntics the network. Tweet Fatal too. He likes getting tweets. Put him in there. Fatal Blades, no underscore, and it's Fatal with an 8, F8TL Blades. All right, I got it right this time.
You did. That props to you.
Thank you. I try, but I like how BFT comes in here and says evening because he just came back from work, so now this is his evening. I've been there before. That graveyard shift. Oof. But so yeah, this is our biggest giveaway yet. We have a huge grand prize pot. But we don't want to just have one huge winner. We want to have a bunch of little winners. So the only way that can happen is if we get this to be viral. Even if you're not interested in giveaways, even if you think that people don't actually win stuff, and you can ask a few of the people that have won stuff on our flash giveaways and our giveaways on our site, GeekyAntics.net, people do win. They actually get prizes. We would love to do physical stuff, but we tend to stick to digital because then it's less overhead in terms of cost and time spent. And it's easier to fulfill the stuff, and faster, obviously. So there's less things to worry about. We will be doing physical prizes too, though, because something about getting a package, especially if it's personalized. I might draw some doodles on there. That'd be fun. But I have been talking to Big Finish. They're passing for now, but they're following our content. They are keeping an eye on us. So there's been some back and forth talk with us. There's some other folks we're talking to as well. So without further delay, here's where you want to go: bit.ly/Make Us Awesome giveaway, and I'm gonna put that in the chat there for you fine folks. Or you can just go to GeekyAntics.net/giveaways, and don't forget you can earn daily entries. And please share it. Now, a lot of people don't share because they're like, well, that actually will lower my chances of winning. But the more it gets shared, the more sponsors we will attract, because people like, in the marketing world, they call it reach. The wider your audience, the more advertisers and sponsors, people that actually pay for the prizes, get attracted. So if we have, numbers in the tens or hundreds of thousands, it's easy to say, hey, Big Finish, give us some audiobooks, yo. Or I don't know, Tiny Rebels, give us some codes for Doctor Who Legacy, stuff like that. So please share it forward, and then we'll create more opportunities for more people to win. That's more exciting, So, and eventually, what we're gonna do is have a Hall of Heroes type thing, a Hall of Fame, where your name will be immortalized for supporting us, helping us reach certain milestones. Maybe you won prizes. We're gonna do all kinds of stuff. I got so much to do. The to-do list is real.
And of course, GeekyAntics.net has achievements. So, just saying, for those achievement hunters like I've been known to be, it's a good place to just kind of get your fix there too.
Indeed, and I will say that if you have something of your own you're developing, you're promoting, maybe you're an artist, maybe you do voiceover work, we want to work with you, and we're creating a referral network so we could help people find clients, and then we'll take a low finder's fee, but it'll help you get work that you probably couldn't before. And there's people always asking. So if you have services you offer, sign up on GeekyAntics.net, reach out to us. That has private messaging and stuff, or you can email mail@GeekyAntics.net. Actually, for Time Miami Tea Time, we have TWTT at GeekyAntics.net. But yeah, the other fun thing is when your profile, you could put your links. We don't mind, everybody's doing the thing. We respect that. We don't mind self-promotion. We're not weird about it. Just don't go crazy. No spam. That's bad. But, the more you log into the site, the more your name shows up on our, leaderboard for the most active users. And then people might click on your profile and see your YouTube, which you can link to your account. They might see your Twitch. Whatever it is you do. You might have a DeviantArt account or an Etsy shop. Hey. Lots of stuff we could do. And we're trying to help level the playing field and give creatives, give geeks more ways to grow their audience and excite people and share their passions. That's what we really do here at Geeky Antics. But Oolong, you have a call to action, a couple more calls to action to share, right?
Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, there we go. Sorry. As a matter of fact,
I was like, yeah, your mic cut off. Like, whoa, did you drop the mic?
That mute button's just a little too strong right there. But we're already talking about the lovely fans and the people who are listening to this podcast, and we love them all. But we do definitely we miss their brilliant YouTube comments. We want them to say hello. We want them, to really let their voice be heard. And I know that a lot of you guys were coming around and you wanted to see Stan, and we're hoping that you'll stay for the pudding. There's pudding. But hopefully we wish all the best to Stan, and we do hope that he can get everything taken care of and he can sort his affairs. We understand that life happens, and it happens fast and hard sometimes, and we wish nothing but the best to you. Indeed. Anywho, though, I do want to mention that the playlist can be found at http://bit.ly/ TWTT for Timey Wimey Tea Time playlist. Now, considering we're still talking about how we do want to hear from you guys, and we love when we get YouTube comments, but if you really want to make an impact, we want to hear it in your voice. We encourage that you guys give us a call. make sure leave a voicemail. We love hearing your voices when you are active, whether it's, singing or giggling or even just a joke or an opinion on anything we talk about. We want to know your favorite or deepest Whovian experiences. And if you guys are willing to, we'd be more than happy if you'd share the love for the show, anything creative, anything we might talk about, or just general passion in your fandom. Now, if you want to know, we do want to know, like, who's your favorite doctor, or maybe we talk a little Walking Dead, writing, anime, anything that tickles your fancy. Now, if you're calling us within the US, it's 206-415-4987. Leave your voicemail. However, if you would like to call us from across the pond or wherever you may be in the world outside of the US, it's 011-206-415-4987. And we do want to hear those lovely voices and everything that you have to say. Make sure you give us a call.
Me gusta. We have some feedback here on all games. Some folks, when I said TWTT for short, they said, "Wait, Twit? You have Leo Laporte?" I'm like, "No, we're not affiliated with him." This week in tech is cool, but I've heard a lot of bad things about Leo Laporte behind the scenes. Like, I've heard he's kind of douchey. He seems kind of like he's kind of douchey, scummy. It's just kind of a shame. 'Cause that is a good show, but those are those bigger podcasts. We don't talk about those. We talk about the little guys because we're hipsters. Anything that's mainstream, boo, hiss. Did we lose you again, or did you just mute?
I had to mute. Sorry about that.
Oh, all right. I was making sure that I didn't get it disconnected or something.
Oh, no. Sorry. There was, again, that whole life happens fast. I had a few things I had to discuss with someone, and I didn't want everyone to be, stuck hearing what's going on. It wasn't anything important, though. My apologies. I love you guys. Please don't shun me.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I just missed a bunch of chat here. So what part of Washington are you guys in? We're actually I'm in Georgia. Fatal, where you want to share where you're at?
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm actually.
I don't want to put it out there without your permission.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll be e-stalked. Which, if you do want to e-stalk me, winky face, it's at the right around Tennessee, Kentucky type area.
Yeah, you're not too far from me actually, which is really cool. But yeah, we're Southerners. I'm originally from New York City. Our friends from the Sparta show are mostly from Spokane, which I always want to call Spokane, but it's actually pronounced Spokane apparently. That's not very phonetically friendly either, because there is an E at the end there. So you would assume a hard A sound, but no. But overall, GeekyAntics, the GeekyAntics and network and United Broadcasting Network collaboration, our coalition of sorts. I don't know, our conglomerate, if you will. Now that sounds bad. It sounds very suitsy. But yeah, we're all over the states, and we have some worldwide collaborators too. So we're pretty fun. So yeah, Startel is originally from Washington, but now living in Minnesota. Yeah, a lot of people seem to be migrating towards Minnesota area. I noticed that. I've been noticing that a lot. But anyway, it is time for Who Knew. Oh, and also BFT did say something. Oh, that's right, because we do have, now I know why I came up, because we have the 206 area code on the phone number. Yeah. I keep wondering, how do people think we were in Washington? Yeah. I don't know. I just picked that number. It just sounded like it flowed, and I just stuck with it. Now I broke the fourth wall. No, we're in Washington. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Hey, as a Deadpool fan, I'm all for breaking the fourth wall and chimichangas.
Ooh, chimichangas sound good.
So good.
But Chris, BFT says Chris Eccleston, hands down. Though honestly, Capaldi could potentially creep up on him in terms of what? Being the best. I think of BFT saying the best doctor. He did mention that. Who's your favorite doctor? He's a Nuvian. I don't think he likes the old stuff, and that's cool. The old stuff's hard to get into.
I won't hold his non-edition of Baker against him then.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're gonna watch the old stuff, at least watch Baker. Tom Baker is the way to go. Not Colin Baker, Tom Baker.
Yeah, no. Jelly babies for the win.
Definitely. But anyway, Who knew? This is Who Knew, our Whovian news segment. I want to start off first by saying, as always, shout-outs to the Whostorian, Radio Scaro, Big Blue Box, Kersterberus, and the Who's Talking shows. Lots of great podcasts out there. They help us stay on top of all the Hoover stuff, especially in the off-season. I actually listened to the Whostorians' look at the Aztecs, which we talked about last week. This is an older episode for them. It's about 20 episodes or so back. And Styling Steve, who's, by the way, at the Whostorian@gmail.com if you want to email him. It's great. Make sure you let him know the Time Miami Tea Time folks sent you. But I love the way he approaches the classic Doctor Who on his show. Highly recommended. Yeah, I particularly liked his thoughts on the better picks for William Hartnell stories, because during this early period, early to mid 1960s, right? They did particularly focus more on historical dramas, right? And so because of that, the Aztecs might not be the right representation of what Doctor Who is overall, but it's still great storytelling, you know. We didn't get it too into the romantic elements, which is something that has been an ongoing thing. You know, the Doctor always kind of has like this. Well, most of his regenerations have moments of flirtation or misleading women, and there was definitely like this very early show had that in there. Like he wasn't quite a womanizer; he was actually very polite, quite the gentleman about it. And then all of a sudden he realized, "Oh crap, what did I do?" He shared the cup of cocoa with what was her name, Carmela, or something like that. And then he didn't know that sharing. He forgot that historically the Aztecs saw that as a marriage proposal, and then she accepted it, and then suddenly they're married. It was kind of sad because she's a very attractive woman, and she's spending all this time in the garden, because apparently the Aztecs, when you hit your 50s, you spend your time in isolation and reflection. Well, not complete isolation, but hanging out in the garden, reflecting upon things. People come to you for advice, but otherwise they ignore you because you're old. It's like, you're about to die.
Pretty much. It's elderly retirement. They're like, well, we'll put you here because you're wise, and you can reflect on how wise you are over the life you've lived. Other than that, don't get in my way, old man.
Yeah, that's funny. Like, you hit 52 and then you're old, but they don't say old; they say you're wise. It's a nice way of saying it. I thought I liked the way they did. Those little nuggets we didn't touch quite exactly touch upon those. Like I was thinking about it, I forgot to mention them. I'm sure you were too. But he talked about that stuff, and he also said that he would have preferred that they picked Planet of the Giants, which is, I believe, the very first miniaturized story. You know, whereas the characters get miniaturized. You know, Honey, I Shrunk My Doctor Who. And I thought that was actually a really good pick. Unfortunately, that's a hard one to find unless you already own it. And it's not in the 50th anniversary collection, BTW. He also picked the Dalek Invasion of Earth, which is awesome. And that's the earliest Dalek story that I could think of.
Yeah, it's the origin, pretty much.
Yeah. Now, Planet of the Giants, the interesting thing about that story is that they actually, instead of doing the trick where they pre-captured and green screened the normal size things and then made it seem like they were walking through them, they actually created set pieces that were simulating huge things, like a huge sink, or I forgot what else they did in there. But my memory is not that good, but that's really neat. They actually, with that little budget, they try to recreate that giant world. So yeah, definitely check out the Whostorian. I also want to give love to our new friend, my beloved co-host Oolong. And let me tell you, there is no shortage of Doctor Who fans these days. But when it comes to finding reliable co-hosts that also happen to be Whovians or geeks, the pool is quite shallow, I have to say.
It doesn't matter. Oolong's a little shallow too. It happens. Get that dust right off my shoulder. Hold on one moment. Oh, there it goes. All right, we're good.
Nice. Ranger says his favorite doctor is Pepper. Dr. Pepper.
Ooh, that's good. Although secret, and that's right. I'm gonna put him on blast right now. Dr. Pepper, no medical schooling. I've checked the history reports.
That breaks my heart.
No, I mean, look, at least Mr. Pibb went out and said, "Look, I'm not a doctor. I'm a simple man of simple pleasures."
Oh boy. But anyway, moving on. You got the puns. You're the one with the puns today. So there's some quick tidbits here. Square Enix has an awesome weekend sale right now on Steam, and I'm kind of face palming. I'm like, man, a lot of these I would love to jump on them. And Square Enix, I believe they took over all the Eidos properties, right?
Yeah, I think it was about a year ago they went and bought out Eidos when they were going through some hard times. Might be a little after that, but pretty much. Actually, interesting fact about that sale. I believe they're doing the premiere offering of a very nice classic Final Fantasy IV in there on sale. So
Yeah.
I would definitely check that out. Like Final Fantasy IV brought to America, if you have not had the time to experience that, is just a masterpiece. Like 4 is probably right behind 6 and 7 in my top 3.
See, I'm a really old school Doctor Who. Doctor Who to mind, obviously. But Final Fantasy, yeah. I'm like one of those weird people that has to be a hipster say, oh, I love Final Fantasy 1. That's my favorite of all time. Everybody says 6, 7, and all that. It's like, it was a great game. I don't take anything away from them. But like, what about 1 without all these other, what, I don't know. Would it be anything else without 1? But I wanna get back into 4, revisit that, and 3. Even though people say that 1 is just impossible, I
Now
still
wait,
want to try it.
American 3 or Japan's 3?
Japan's 3.
Yeah, Japan's 3 was so good.
Yeah, and people say it's just so hard. Because 3 over here was that one that came out on the Game Boy Advance, wasn't it?
No, 3 for America was Super Nintendo. Well, R3 was Japan 6, and that was the one that had Locke and Terra and the first sighting of the Magicite armor and
Right.
Kefka.
And then there were also the weird original Game Boy ones that were like Final Fantasy Legend or something. Like,
Uh-huh.
those were hard too.
Those were pretty hardcore.
I got stuck on those so much. It's like, oh, I'm really enjoying this, but now I'm stuck on like a Starship type thing. I don't know what to do next. Uh, but anyway, so yeah, Square Enix, they're known for, now that they have the Eidos games, or Eidos, I forget how you say it actually. But
Eidos.
it is Eidos, right? Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right. So Eidos, they have Hitman series, Tomb Raider, Deus Ex,
Just Cause.
Just Cause, Thief. Yes, Thief. I'm a big fan of Thief. I mean, lots of great games. Of course, all the Final Fantasy games. I mean,
The Legacy of Kain.
oh gosh, I gotta forget that. I always forget that one. I forget
Legacy
this.
of Kain series, so good.
Oh my gosh, does that include the Soul Reaver games?
It does actually. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, and Soul Reaver 2.
No, don't say that. I love
So
that.
pretty.
I love that series so much, and it holds up so well. Like, I played the crap out of Soul Reaver on Dreamcast. I love that game. There are some mechanics that are really cumbersome and take you away from the immersion of it. I mean, I get that, but the puzzle solving, the story, that narrative is just so strong, and that world is just beautiful. So good. Oh man, we got a bunch of more chat here. The older FF were the best. I have 1 and 2 on the GBA. Oh, there you go. Star Child, I think you might be our new best friend. I could never really get into Final Fantasy. I've only played 14 and Tactics Advanced. Oh, Tactics is so good.
Dude,
Why don't they follow that up?
Everything in Tactics was just so well done.
So much depth, dude. Like the replay value. Like every character has so many different development paths. You can send off your guys on missions, so you can play. They do things asynchronously while you play real time. Oh, it's so good. Let's see. Starchild says I haven't wanted to get into those. I hear Tactics was good though, and I can't do subscription games. Yeah, I don't blame you. I play Terra. Yeah, it's hard to get paid for MMOs when there's free ones out there. It's just a bad model. I mean, I know that people have to pay for it, but it's hard to justify it. And that's another topic. We'll get into another topic. That's another one we'll go off on a rant. Another fun thing, bringing it back to Doctor Who, Lego has this thing called the Lego Ideas Project, where they allow the community to vote for their favorite pitches. And they just greenlit the Doctor Who companion sets, which is gonna. So they got 10K votes. Now they're planning on how to bring into production all the logistics and whatnot of it. And I'm pretty excited. I mean, Tom Baker. They have a Baker mini figurine.
Yes, yes, they do. Scarf. That's the scarf's like painted on it. It's so perfect. So well done. There's K9 though. K9.
They gotta make the K9. Like I know that was just a prototype. They said this may not be the actual set that we'll produce.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful we see the Tom Baker, a few different options for the Doctor, so you can do some regenerative play along. The Rose has to come out in that.
Oh yes, I would like all the companions from the new series, to be honest.
I would. Well, I don't know. Maybe not Mickey. No, nothing against Mickey.
Oh, poor
Sorry,
Mickey.
I can't help it.
This is what I say. This is what I say to you. You ready?
Danger! Doctor! Danger!
I had to. K9's so good. Poor Mickey though. Mickey got disrespected in so many ways. Poor guy. I felt bad for him. Like Rose was the proverbial tease. She strung him along so much. Like I know that Rose is a fan favorite, but if you really think about it, she was kind of a terrible person.
I don't know. I mean, I think she went through enough inner conflict while dealing with it that she can't be a terrible person out of that scenario. That's just one of those, there's decisions.
Yeah, I know. I get it. It's tough. We all are faced with those tough decisions, so that's fair enough.
And who better to love you than a person with two hearts? I'm just saying.
Fair enough. Though I think out of all the new companions, I'm still partial to Amy Pond. Just gotta keep up my redhead theme. I know I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person. I'm sorry. I can't judge Rose Tyler. I have my own issues to work through. So Oolong, you got something to reinforce, something we've been promoting here. A bit of a cause.
It is. It's I just kind of want to go back, and I mentioned it in the last live show. I want to make sure that we try and keep up with it and get the good word out. But fans of Kieran Gillian, or maybe just redheads in general, Yogi, they're rallying to bring Selfie back. And I don't know if you guys have seen Selfie. It's a pretty nice little interesting show. If you haven't, check it out. I'm sure there are options to view it. I'm not going to mention any in particular right now, but right now it's likely that ABC will buckle under fan pressure, but that they won't. It's unfortunate, but however, another network may pick it up, or if we're lucky enough, and fingers crossed we're lucky enough, webisodes. If they can get webisodes, that to me is the ideal medium. I don't know about you guys, but I think you can do more with webisodes and kind of get away with more because the internet for the win. But there's several petitions right now that are floating around so that we can hopefully see this continue. And one of these petitions, I'm going to hope Yogi will be able to link this to everyone. But if you're listening in and don't have the benefits of getting that link, it's https://www.change.org/p/ABC-bring-selfie-on-ABC.
I didn't think you actually. I actually didn't think you'd read the whole link, but kudos to you.
No, they need to know, because if they're listening, like I said, there's some passion here. And if it takes me reading hyphen 10 times, I'm going to read hyphen. I mean, right now, they're at like...
You almost sounded like one of the old speaking spells. Remember those, bro?
Oh, yeah. Hyphen. The cow goes hyphen. I think
miss
mine's
those
broken.
things. Oh, man. So good.
But no, there's over 2,100 signatures on it, and around 350 more are needed to push the petition forward. I'll read the whole web address just so you guys can get it. And I'm hoping that means that you'll go check it out and add to those 350 that are needed. Of course, you're going to find our names on there. You just got to. I look forward to seeing yours too, hopefully.
Indeed. And if you do sign it, leave us a voicemail, 206-415-4987.
Do it.
And I have to say that I agree with you. I think the selfie would be perfect in webisode format. Oh, it's 301. It's 301 now, so apparently our promotion has been working.
All right.
We have some influence.
It's happening. Let's get it going, guys.
And shame on me for not updating the numbers this morning, but
We're even.
As I said, around 301. That's not bad. So there's been like 49 signatures so since the last time we did the show. Yes.
So that means we're doing it. Let's get it going.
Yeah, definitely. Pat, share this along. When we get this YouTube video up and a podcast up on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, all that stuff, just share the link. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Down to every hyphen. Wink, wink. A wink's as good as a nod to a blind bat, I always say.
Yes. But, so yeah, we mentioned last time we did the show, episode 18, which was 2 weeks ago, more or less. Yeah. Last it was, gosh, I can't believe it's already February. I'm not keeping up with time at all. But the 26 seasons of Gallifrey 1 is coming to the Marriott Los Angeles Airport on February 13th. So by the time we do our next show, it would have already passed. So it might be late to buy tickets now. I know last time we checked they were sold out, but I'm sure there's someone that can't make it and might be transferring their tickets. I believe they are transferable. I would hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so. Just saying. Hold on, Google searching.
For real. Happen. But just all right. So let's do the who's who, and then we're gonna get into our Doctor Who flashback before we run out of time in the first half. We might go a little long in this first half though. But who's who? This is why we love Doctor Who. If this is your first encounter with Doctor Who, here's a brief intro. Doctor Who is about a man-alien/alien man who travels all of time and space in a handy blue box called the TARDIS. It's a spaceship, it's a time machine, it's a phone booth, and it's bigger on the inside. Oh, and it also translates all languages and functions as some sort of IV unit. Oh, most of the time. They flip-flop on that. We won't get into that. But the Doctor Who universe spans over 50 years of content, including TV shows, movies, audiobooks, comics, even puppet shows. They got video games too, which I still have to play. Shame on me. I've played Doctor Who Legacy. That's about it. The series has had some heavy hitters right for it too, including the late Douglas Adams. Douglas Adams of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fame, and Neil Gaiman. So it's kind of a big deal. So we love it. We talk about it a lot. It's not the only thing we talk about here, but it's a big part of it. But anyway, let's jump right into it. It's time for the Doctor Who flashback. We're talking about Mind Robber. It's season 6 of Doctor Who, Serial 2, the second story in season 6, and it's with this features Patrick Troughton, the second and silliest Doctor. He's also the Lost Doctor because this is the Doctor that's had the most episodes lost in the Great Fire that destroyed a lot of Doctor Who content, sadly. You can catch this on the Doctor Who 50th Anniversary Collection, which is on Amazon Prime Video and Netflix, so you can follow along with us. We hope you do, and if you have suggestions on which one you want us to cover next, and if you maybe want to join us, in real time or via voicemail, there are options for that, which we have covered and we'll continue to cover. But for now, some more vitals on this episode, the story arc. The first episode aired on September 14th, 1968. I'm about to say 1868. Not that far back. 1968.
I was gonna say, if that's the case, your 50 years way missed the mark.
I know, right? I wasn't even trying at that point. But it took place. This particular story took place after the Dominators on Dokis serial, which I vaguely recall. Again, it's one of those lost episodes. So if you haven't watched it, you're probably not gonna catch it. But I think there are some there's some places we can still catch highlights and synopsis and.
There might be some audiobook options.
Yeah, audiobooks. They recreate a lot of these in audiobook. Yep. I think they still have the scripts or some remnants where they could base off of that stuff. So there's still ways to get into those storylines. So yeah, this is one of the few episodes again that survived from the Patrick Troughton era. Now I will say that for me, Patrick Troughton was a little hard to get into back then, and and now still, because he looks like Mo from the Three Stooges, and it's a little silly to me.
Certainly.
Certainly. But it's not. He's actually not bad. He's not bad at all. So let's read a little bit of the synopsis from Wikipedia. You want to take this too long?
All right, I'll do this, and I'm gonna use that radio voice. I'm gonna try it.
No, you don't have to read the whole thing. You can skip around a bit. I know it's
I
a lot. Okay, all right.
But I'm gonna cover the highlights, such as he said, after defeating the Dominators on Dulcus, the second Doctor sets off a volcanic eruption. He leaves the TARDIS along with his companions in the way, though it gets burned in lava, blowing a fluid link in the process. Now, unfortunately, what this has done is it forces the Doctor to use an emergency unit to take the TARDIS away from danger and indeed out of reality itself. Now, they land in a white void, and the Doctor works to fix the TARDIS. But unfortunately, Jamie and Zoe are lured outside and confronted by white robots. Now, the Doctor gets them back inside, but as they try to return to reality, the TARDIS explodes, and the travelers are scattered into the nothingness. Now, that's about all I can do in the radio voice, but I would like to continue the overview. So they wake up, and they're in a forest with trees, and they kind of explore around a little. They meet a few interesting adventures along their way. They become reunited eventually after a short grouping of odd events to meet a strange soldier-like individual, and are miraculously followed by what appear to be, life-size toy soldiers.
I love this because they made me think of March of the Wooden Soldiers or Babes in Toyland, which is the same movie, just one's in color, one's black and white.
Right.
That tickled
also
me.
Had a little nutcracker kind of going on in there.
Yes, it did. Yep.
Now, as they continue, they eventually do such things as they I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. I've got an entire synopsis here, but I'm just going to give you the highlights from my memory. There's some interesting puzzles and moments the Doctor runs across, such as a strange group of children who question and quiz him with riddles, a labyrinth, and even a minotaur. You'll also see special guest appearances by such things as Medusa and the ever-elusive unicorn. I'm not going to tell you how. You'll have to watch it for yourself. I might go into it here in a little bit, but I still recommend watching it. We see all sorts of things, including this was interesting to me, a theoretical superhero from the year 2000. Now, I can only say that because we are post-2000, and I still don't know this guy, and I'm pretty big on my comic books. But he has a anti-molecular ray disintegrator. And simply through the Doctor going, well, that is not scientifically possible.
Yeah, I love that he brought attention to that.
The weapon just vanishes into midair. So as this world gets more mysterious and mythical with each moment they are existing in it, the Doctor slowly comes to a realization. If they can identify that things don't exist, they don't exist. So now reality is driven by their perception. And quickly they discover that they are in a land of fiction. Now, this means that all things are kind of out there in the universe. At one point, one individual, not going to say who, all right, it's the guy, runs into Rapunzel.
The guy.
He runs into Rapunzel.
I believe his name is Jamie.
It is Jamie.
He was the Scottish guy. The Scottish guy.
Yeah, with full-blown kilt. Props to that guy rocking the battle kilt the whole time.
This story is ridiculous. It's deliciously ridiculous. And I love the fact that the second Doctor laughs at this. Like, it's a science fiction setting, but he's like, anti-molecular ray disintegrator. That's not a real thing.
Yeah, that's not even scientifically possible. Oh, it disappeared. And props to Zoe for beating up a superhero. Like, just judo throwing him everywhere like a rag doll. It's an interesting moment. Again, watch the episode. And plus, just one of my favorite takeaways of this episode:
What's that?
their perception on how the world would look in post 2000. Because Zoe, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but Zoe is supposed to be a year 2000, post year 2000 companion.
Yep.
And there's times where when they're lured away, you see her home. And now when I look back at it, I had a friend who was watching the episodes with me, and he's a new Doctor Who fan. And he was like, is she from Gallifrey? That kind of looks like Gallifrey.
Dude, so let's talk about that more in the second half. So right now we're just doing a teaser. We're gonna have to definitely go deeper on this in the second half. We do have to take a break, unfortunately. Is that all you got for the teaser? I think there's more, right?
There is more, as a matter of fact, but I don't want to give away the big ending until we're there. I don't want them to know. Will he make? You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. The Doctor in a strange fiction-like universe, meeting some of your favorite characters. Will he make it? Will he not make it? Can they survive? What will become of the TARDIS? All this and more on the second half of the Timey-Wimey Tea Time show.
Indeed. And I'll add to that, though I won't do quite the sexy voice, 'cause I'm still a little congested and sick, sadly. But we keep teasing about this, but the Master makes an appearance. Or does he?
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun! Alright, folks, here's a little musical break. We'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. Sit tight.